Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, as always, joined by Lockie.
Hi, mate.
Not too bad. We don't have Sharpie because he feels like he doesn't know enough about NFL. Maybe he's just saying that because he goes for the Saints. I can't blame him.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Poor man. He's probably upset that Sean Payton just retired and hung up the coach's hat.
Is he retired or is he just
I don't know if he's actually retired or if he's just walking away from. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I've seen it on Instagram today. Everyone posted it, and Drew Brees put a big thing up about him. I think he was at the club at the team for like 16 years. That's a long time.
So it doesn't even look that old, to be honest.
Long time. No, I think he started when he was pretty young. So he was damn good though.
Yeah,
he was damn good.
Now let's get into possibly the greatest weekend of playoff football I've ever seen.
Yep.
We'll start at one. You can't really say that there was any less eventful games except for maybe the second game we'll talk about. All the games obviously ended in a walk-off, but we'll start with the Bangles versus the Titans. Now, the Bengals won 19-16, and I've got it written down here. So I actually backed the Bengals and you backed the Titans. So
yeah, I was going to say I didn't actually go back through. I should have watched the last podcast to remember what we actually said with that. But I'm pretty sure that I said that the Bengals could definitely win it.
Yeah, you did. But at the very end, oh God, I'm getting a horrible glare. I'm going to have to
I was about to message you like, there's a lot of glare coming through there, my friend.
Yeah, well, geez, I'll figure that out eventually.
We'll work it out.
But yeah, you did go with the Titans, but yes, you did mention the Bengals.
Yeah.
I watched bits of I watched the last half, I think it was, or last. I missed the first quarter. Geez, that glares. Just give me a second.
You literally got a rainbow going on your screen.
What's that?
I said you literally got a rainbow going on your screen there.
Oh, it was ridiculous. I thought I put it down enough. But yeah, I watched the 3 quarters of the game, and it was just unreal to see someone like Joe Burrow get attacked so often. Like, not only he got sacked 9 times, obviously, which was a record to
insane.
Get sacked that many times and win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he has Jamar Chase, but he's just unreal. He feels like, now obviously you got Josh Allen and that, and I don't want to put too much hype on him too early, but he feels like a kind of Tom Brady, bit more mobile, but he's not like like Josh Allen and that are just freakish. They can run, they can do everything, whereas he's more relying on his skills.
Correct. And I reckon it's more to do with his mindset too. Like, he knows he can win no matter what sort of a stage he's in as well. Like, he didn't have a great game. Like, he didn't throw any touchdowns or anything. He had an interception. He still went for 348.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just got so many weapons on the other side. Like, Jamar Chase went for 109. I think he set a record of some sort for the most yards for a player for the first 3 playoff games or something for a rookie, I think. I'd have to double check that. And even like T. Higgins had 96 yards as well. Sharpie's favourite number. Shout out to the man. I wish he was here for that. But yeah, like the Bengals defense is so underrated.
Yeah.
So underrated.
I didn't even notice it really. But like, I wasn't focused on that. I was more like, because I remember most of those yards for Jamar Chase came on the one play. I think they were on like their own 20, and he's just cut back, and it was like, it wasn't a broken play, but it was like just a dump pass, and then he turned the defender and ran 60, 70 yards, and it's just like
his yards after the catch is just unreal. Like, there's been some videos in the last couple of weeks of him like catching it nearly at the line of scrimmage and just like turn on the jets. They got a couple of blockers upfield, and he's just gone. Like, you can't even do anything about it.
Yeah, but like, I didn't even notice the defense. Like, obviously they got some key stops, but
they had 3 interceptions.
But that's the thing. I was bringing it back to. I said last week I didn't trust Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback.
Yeah, correct.
Comes out. To be fair, I think 2 of them were tipped and a bit stiff on him. But one, I think it was the first play of the game.
Yeah.
Like, you're in where is Tennessee? That's what's Nashville, is it?
Oh yeah,
I think it's Nashville.
I can't even think of it right now off the top of my head.
Because I remember that Pat McAfee said he was there, and they were all going crazy. And then the first play of the game, Tannehill throws an interception and everyone just gets silenced. It's just a
not how you want to start a game. Not how you want to start a game.
But Derrick Henry didn't even really run the shot. He did his bits, but
and that's what I think I mentioned that last week. If they were going to have any sort of chance, like I felt like it was going to be, he was going to be the difference maker. But it's his first. I think it was his first game back in. God, I don't even want to know how many games. Like he had 20. So had 20 carries, but only went for 20 for 62 yards. So he had a touchdown, but. I think if he was fully fit and healthy, games under his belt would be a very different game. But I don't think this is the end of the Titans. I think they'll be back next year. If they're like Derrick Henry was an MVP, like it would have been like 9-10 games in when he got injured. I think it was around there. And he was the MVP by an absolute mile at that stage. He was absolutely dominating games. So it's not the end of him.
Do you think they keep Tannehill as the quarterback?
Well, it depends what happens with the next man we're going to be talking about, I think. With what happens there, to be quite honest, that would be massive if that happened.
Just other thing to touch on, I think it's Foreman. He was the one that looked like he was more dangerous. He had 4 rushes for 60 yards. I think one of them was 34 yards. Yeah. But, he looked more dangerous than Henry, but
they're just bloody. They are literally just deflating those sorts of runs. Yeah. Like they're probably like you get them down to like third down and you break out for those. They're just the worst, literally the worst. It's like a game of footy, and you've like kicked and you've been working your backside off, got back into a game, and then kicked 3 goals, and you're like, well. Jesus, like, what do we do? Like, it's just like not the motivation, the momentum is just sucked out of you completely.
And that's the worst thing. Like, I get it. Maybe if they did a play action pass and it's 3rd and 2 or something, but it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. You're expecting a run for someone to break out for 30 yards. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't go all the way, but to think that was the 3rd best game of the weekend. We're gonna move on to the worst game of the weekend. That was kind of boring until the last quarter. So the 49ers beat the Packers. We both took the Packers, even though I wanted the 49ers to win. But just because Brad, but I forgot to message him to see if he wanted to join. But it would
have been a great week for him to join. I would have absolutely loved that.
But because I think the Packers scored on their very first possession and then didn't get a touchdown after that. So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, very disappointing. I mean, how many did he have?
Like he had a couple of big plays, but Aaron Jones was absolutely. I think he had 172 yards like in total. He had 41 yards rushing as a running back, which you think not that great. But he had 129 yard receiving.
Yeah,
which like is just huge, and like a few of the plays they were quite big plays too. Like a lot of them, he was coming out of the backfield down the sideline, and like that would have been probably 30-40 yard plays. And like to think that they got into those sorts of positions and didn't score with the offense that they have is just absolutely blows my mind how they don't like. And Devontae Adams still had 90 yards as well. Like to his standards, like that's a bit low,
but he was getting. I'm surprised. I was about to mention that. I'm surprised he got that much because he was getting double covered and like they were just
every single play. But that's the thing. Like if you stop him, obviously they've got bloody Jones as well. But aside from that. You're relying on like the difference between like those two is just too big. And like the 49ers, like they had 5 sacks, like that's obviously 3 or 4 less than what Joe Burrow had, but they had 5 tackles for loss as well.
Yeah,
like it's just,
and that's what
even as good as Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah, he said they couldn't establish the run game at all, and that's what kind of hindered their offense. And like I find it kind of interesting how last year, when they went out to the Bucs, everyone was giving shit to their defense because like they gave up big plays and stuff at the end of the half. Whereas now it's the offense. Like at the end of the first half, Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, threw an interception. and they were at a short field, and I think they went for the touchdown instead of the field goal, and obviously they didn't get it. But they might have just walked away with a field goal, but
could have went for it instead.
And I just found it so funny. Because I don't watch a lot of the Packers, but going into it, I was watching heaps of stuff, and they're like, oh, they're worried about the special teams, and the coach even said they hope the special teams doesn't let them down. And I'm like, I get that your special teams is bad, but that probably doesn't fill them with confidence. And then, sure enough, in the last quarter, I feel like as soon as that happened, they lost it. They lost it.
Like the 49ers would have had to have played the worst winning game in the playoffs nearly ever. Like they did absolutely, but their defense was unreal. And like sometimes that's all you need. You just need a sniff, and then they got that chance at the end of the game and took it, and they're off. And now, like Aaron Rodgers has obviously come out saying that he doesn't know he doesn't want to make a decision too quick. I think Devontae Adams has said the same thing in a way as well. Like the Packers could go from like
best to
Super Bowl challenging team to nothing very, very quickly in one off season. Like
we'll get to that a bit later on, but like I and that's the thing. Like I really like Jimmy Garoppolo, and he played absolute I think he's got a broken thumb. He's got something wrong with his thumb.
Yeah, he took the tape off his thumb or something. He had
and he's got something wrong with his shoulder, I think it is. So he's pretty banged up, but he's still playing. And like there's rumors that he's going to get replaced by who did they bring in at the draft last year? I always forget his name.
I can't even remember his name, to be honest.
It's one of the top.
Can't even remember.
One of the top draft quarterbacks out of the.
Shit. Yep, I should know.
I really forget his name.
I know who you're talking about. God damn it, I can't think about it at the moment.
It's not, I'm thinking Fields for some reason, but yeah. Anyway, he's at Chicago.
Yeah, correct. I know who you're talking about though.
But yeah, like apparently all the players love him, and I'm like, he's one of my favorite players, and one because he played at the Patriots, but like I'd just like to see him in the Super Bowl again. We'll get to our predictions and stuff, but like even if he got like a revenge game, because they should have won that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. They really should have.
Yeah.
They were up by like 10 points or something going into the last quarter, but Mahomes is going to be Mahomes, which
we will definitely get to that later. That is for sure.
Next game, Rams versus Bucks. So we both took the Bucks. So just a hint, you went 0-4 this week. I went 1-3. So
Jesus.
Obviously the Rams beat the Bucks. They were up. I remember I felt so bad. I walked into work, and my mate, he's a Patriots fan, and he doesn't watch the games until he gets home. And I forgot that, and it was near halftime. I think it was 24-3. And I've walked in, and I've turned to him, and I'm like, oh, you see the Bucks are getting smashed or blown out.
Oh, boy.
And he's like, you're killing me. Look at your monitor.
Yeah.
And he's put a sticky note on my monitor saying no.
Do not. No spoilers or something.
No spoilers. And he's like, oh, you're really killing me. And then I was listening to it at work, and I'm like, okay, maybe it doesn't matter because they're making a comeback. But
typically you can't write the man off. You cannot write the man off.
Like I hate the Rams, but I don't know. I don't like Stafford. I'm just happy for Stafford. Really.
Yeah. So am I. I know BJ as well. Like
he
I'm happy
deserves
for both
it.
of them. Yeah. 100%.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why I don't like the Rams. It's because probably, like, I like the coach. I think it's mainly probably just getting rid of Goff, and obviously it's a good decision. But I just liked Goff. But like, I like the coach. I like Aaron Donald, and I like Matt Stafford. I think it's just because they're so stacked. And I think they got a few other players. I always forget
they've got Jalen Ramsey and all those.
The defender that used to play for the Broncos. What's his name with the weird
Von Miller.
Yeah, Von Miller. It's just a stacked team. But
100% it is. 100% it is. But it's a damn good team.
Yeah, well,
damn good team.
To be fair, Brady basically started with a hand behind his back, as what's his name would say. Our favorite man, Skip Bayless.
God.
But like, obviously they didn't have Godwin. God, I nearly got that wrong again. obviously didn't have Antonio Brown. They didn't have their right tackle. I think they got a third string right tackle to go up against that D line, which it doesn't help.
Good luck.
But,
good luck.
Like, because he played terrible. He didn't play terrible. He didn't play great for the first 2.5 quarters, really. But I mean, it's hard when you're getting peppered like
that's
he was.
The thing, though. Like, when you look at like the players they had out, like they are like really, really, really good players.
Yeah, and I feel like if they had them, that obviously changes the outcome of the game. But
definitely.
But
you can never predict that because, like, obviously the Rams would go in with a different game plan because they would have gone in saying, like, we're going to attack that right tackle. We're just going to go absolute hell for leather and just go at him. Whereas if they had that right tackle, that would have been totally different game planning. And you never know how it's going to pan out, honestly. You really don't.
And, like, the Buccaneers defense played terrible up until really that last quarter where they got 2 strips from Cam Akers. And, like, looking at the offense of the Bucs, they got 51 yards rushing. Yeah, they got 2 touchdowns, and Brady threw for 330 or 329. They didn't have like a great deal of offense, and I mean,
they just had big plays to get him back into it. That's all it really was. They just got him into positions for Leonard Fournette to run for a couple of touchdowns. Like, Evans had 118 yards. Like, they just had enough big plays to get him back into the game, and that's literally all you need. It's the same as the 49ers. Like, they just got a couple of big plays and it can totally change a game.
I'm trying to think of the proper way to word this question quickly. Who do you think who do you think needed the win more out of Odell Beckham and Matt Stafford? Because obviously both of them come under a bit of scrutiny in the past.
Truth.
I could have worded that a bit better, that question, but
no, I know exactly what you're talking about, though. I reckon probably OBJ, because I reckon because he got there last year. I think he got to the playoffs with the Browns last year and got done.
Yeah.
So he's got there. I don't know whether, off the top of my head, I can't remember Stafford getting there with the Lions. Yeah. So I think that I think for OBJ to win that after obviously not getting over that first hurdle the first time is probably bigger. But in terms of, like, so happy for both of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they're absolutely unreal. Like, obviously OBJ is one of the best wide receivers to ever do it. Like, his stat lines, like, it speaks for himself. And then when you watch Matt Stafford, he's the exact same. Very, very talented quarterback as well. Like, but I think just because OBJ got there and didn't get over that first hurdle, I think that's unreal for him to be able to get over that. But for Stafford to obviously do what he's doing now, like, Jesus, he's got him firing.
He wasn't to blame either for, like, he played a perfect game really because none of the turnovers came off, except there was a high snap, which, I mean, he couldn't really do much about. But, like, the other 2 were just fumbles. He threw 360 and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, if they lost that, he probably would have copped a lot of shit and not really deserving it. But
it's hard because that's just comes with being the man of the team. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. So.
But what
always happens. The same in every sport. Like, it's the coaches that usually cop it, or the captains. Like, it's the same in every sport you go to.
I can't believe the Bucs defense for those last 2 plays. Obviously, the first one letting Cup open, and then second one they've talked about it. So apparently, Arians came out and said that he wanted to do a blitz, and it mustn't have gone through. And that's the thing. It was so strange because White wears the helmet that has the comms in it or whatever. So he should have been the first person to know that it was a blitz. And then him and the other bloke didn't blitz. So that kind of just gave Stafford time to find the best wide receiver arguably in the league wide open.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because you hear a lot about, like, the mics going out in the helmets and stuff. And you wonder if that it's either gone out, they don't know, or they've misinterpreted what Bruce Arians was saying, which I highly doubt, because they would have practiced it that much so that leads you to believe, like, were they actually going against what he was saying, sort of thing.
Well, that's bringing back to a previous game that apparently Joe Burrow's headset went out. His helmet went. I question whether that actually happened. Maybe he just didn't like the play.
Was that the previous game or was that on the weekend?
That was on the weekend. So, but previous game, I meant like the one that we discussed earlier.
Oh, right. Gotcha. Sorry.
But you got to question whether, and they worked out, but like you got to question whether he just changed it because he didn't like what he saw or what he heard. But I mean, what do you think in that situation? I feel like if you're on the offense, you trust the player. Whereas if you're on the defense, you trust the coach. So if the coach is coming through with that's my personal thoughts. Obviously, I don't play NFL, but that's what I think.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Like, you'd obviously trust the quarterback because they can change things by what they see in the play and everything. And it's interesting. Obviously, we don't know enough because we don't play the game and know how it all sort of works. But I feel like you probably trust the quarterback more than you would on the defensive end anyway.
I just can't believe they'd let the best receiver in the league probably go.
Not probably. He's definitely at the moment most in form.
Well, he should be nearly in the MVP discussion, but I don't know.
He should be.
I don't know how that. Who's that? That's probably going to go to Rodgers, isn't it? I'm guessing. It'll be Rodgers.
Yeah, in terms of like seasonal stats,
Man's just
but if I was him, I wouldn't even care about 100%. Like, I'd take not getting an MVP every year and winning chips over. Yeah.
He just can't beat the 49ers. I think he's 0-4 against them in the playoffs. So,
100%.
And we thought that would be the best game of the weekend after it finished. And then the Chiefs and the Bills are just like, hold my beer and we'll go out there. Now, I was so upset listening to this at work, just the result of the game. So obviously the Chiefs won 42-36. We both picked the Bills to win. Both quarterbacks are just played perfect games, really. And like, I don't like Mahomes and Josh Allen's, other than he's my favorite player outside of a Patriots player, arguably. He's just, and it's pretty, I know that's probably a bit interesting since they're division rivals and stuff, but he's just so good to watch, and I felt so bad for him. So I think the stats were with a minute 42 left. In the last minute 42, 25 points were scored. And like, what do you find interesting out of this game apart from everything?
It was the last quarter. It was 15-13 the Bills' way. Which is just insane. Like, and it was all in. Like the last. It was just crazy. Just crazy. Like, you think 13 seconds left on the clock. Like, you're just not.
I thought it was game.
Yeah. So did I, honestly. I thought, shit, they've actually got this. But there's always that thought in the back of your head that Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, like, they're just an offensive juggernaut. You're just like, you know that they can do it. And it was crazy to watch.
And like, the Bills have been complaining about not having any defenders in the Pro Bowl. Jesus, that wrong. But I'm not arguing that they should be or they shouldn't be. But after that performance in the last minute, it's pretty disgusting. But like, I just don't know. They had timeouts left. I mean, they're going to get down the. Obviously, I wouldn't say they're going to get down the field, but you just go to. They basically built a picket fence around the boundary line so they couldn't get out, and then obviously they're going to dump it in the middle. But I just felt so bad when that happened because I knew once they got in field goal range, it was going to go through. But a quick question: 13 seconds left. Obviously, the Bills punted it into the end zone for a touchback. Do you squib it? Do you kick it high in the air at the 20-meter mark, or take a couple seconds off?
It's really tricky. It's a tricky one to sort of know what to do at the time. Like, you'd want to back your punter in and try and pin him back as far as you can. But like, do you try? It's a really tough one because you could end up like if you don't kick it back for a touchback, they could return it for a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what I was
Like,
thinking when they punted it.
yeah.
I'm like, but now looking in hindsight, there was 2 seconds left when they spiked the ball. That 2 seconds or 3 seconds could easily have been taken away if they had to catch it and run 5 meters or something before getting tackled. But
hindsight's a beautiful thing.
But what do you think of the overtime rules? This is obviously going to get brought up.
I think it needs to change. Honestly, it's the Chiefs have actually been trying to get that changed since they got done to the Patriots. Yep. And now they've been on the other side of it for I think nearly 2 seasons in a row. But even Andy Reid came out today and says he thinks it's only fair that might have either been today or yesterday, but he thinks it's only fair that you should both offenses get a chance, both defenses get a chance. And I totally agree. Like, what you can't not let the other team have a chance of it. Like, it's in college. Like, colleges, I forget which game it was. It might have been Florida State against someone or something like, and it went like 72 to 65 or something like that. And it was like back and forth. And like, that's, as a fan, that's what you go to.
Yeah.
You go to watch that sort of stuff. Like, it's pretty much whoever's got the better defense wins the game.
And that's the thing.
You should both get an even chance.
And that's the thing. Going into overtime, whoever got the ball was going to win because both defenses were playing
just
terrible.
By the fucking flip of a coin.
And
you can't win a divisional game by a flip of a coin.
But I mean, why did the Bills go tails? You don't go tails. Come on. You
always go heads.
Here
we go. So paper, scissors, rock.
Yeah. But no, I do like how Josh Allen came out though and said that if they won the toss, they would be celebrating. So it's good by 100%. Him that he wasn't like complaining about the rules, but
like you that's the thing. You got to keep it in perspective and sit back and think. Like, you obviously, you'd be over the moon with that. You just don't want to end up like Matt Hasselbeck and say we're gonna receive, we're gonna go down and score, and then end up throwing an interception and going down the other way and losing the game. Like, you don't want to end up like that. But I honestly think it needs to change. It's I just don't think it's fair. Like, it's obviously what's the word? Not history. Like, it's just the way the game's been played for so long. It's kind of like the AFL.
It's basically a tradition.
Tradition, 100%. 100%. Like, there's things that you don't want to change, but I think this is one rule that's really got to change. And especially now the Chiefs have been on one side of it and been on the other side now. Like,
they've got the coach still saying that it needs to be changed.
Correct.
So
correct. So I think it definitely needs to be looked into, because imagine this game going like it could have went forever and it would have been unbelievable to watch.
Would have been
and then it goes into next week, like the team's absolutely spent.
Yeah.
And I think these guys are playing the Bengals. Like, the Bengals will be sitting back just licking their lips thinking, how good is this?
One thing I found quite funny is how Stephon Diggs kept posting like, been waiting a year for this, and then he comes out and gets 3 receptions for 7 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit stiff.
Yeah, the poor guy. Because you don't have a bad word to say about him, and you hate for something like that to happen to a guy that's so talented and doesn't really do anything wrong, like off the field or on the field, and then that to have, because obviously there's that photo of him staying out in the field and watching the Chiefs celebrate last season, like, and then to wait a whole year, do that, get another chance, and to not but that's just sometimes the way the game goes. You can't do anything about that.
And what about Gabriel Davis? 4 touchdowns, which I think is it's a record or one of the records for receiving, and he had 8 receptions for 201 yards.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's
insane, isn't it?
That's quite ridiculous.
And that's the thing. When you've got Josh Allen, even Pat Mahomes on the other end, like, that's why you see Kelsey and Tyreek Hill going for such big plays, because they've got an absolute cannon. Like that throw that Josh Allen made in the last quarter was an absolute, like, he made 2.
He was throwing absolute
cannons. Like one that he threw to Davis in the end zone, he was like, the ball literally like knocked him over.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous, some of the throws he made.
Yeah.
And like you'll see, I reckon these guys will be in the divisional game for the next 6-7 years away. They're just absolutely unreal. These two quarterbacks, they're bloody awesome to watch.
What was before we move on? I just wanted to mention we've gone past it by a mile, but I forgot to mention it. The Bangles kicker McPherson.
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite.
What a man.
Favorite players in the league now as well, because he's just he's that dead accurate and he's that confident, and
that's why you draft a kicker.
Obviously what he said before running out on the field is looks like we're going to the conference game or whatever. Conference championship. I mean, Jesus, that's ballsy as hell.
The confidence.
Well, that's it for the review. We'll move on to that time of the week.
Slugs. Horsey tips.
All right. So this week he's got Rose Hill, race 7, number 6, Animo. Mooney Valley, race 5, number 4, Pinstriped. And his each way of the day is at Mooney Valley, race 7, number 2, Wild Planet. So I haven't checked his last week's results yet, but he currently has a win percentage of 40%. So we'll just move on to NFL discussion, but before that, we'll just have a quick break and we'll be back. And we're back. We'll continue on with the NFL topics. Before we get into the previewing the championship games, we'll just talk about a few things that have been circulating in the NFL atmosphere. Antonio Brown suing the Bucs. Anything Antonio Brown related. I mean, those tweets after the Bucs lost, him wanting to play with the Ravens. I mean, what do you think of this whole situation?
It's literally just clickbait, isn't it, with this bloke? He's just an absolute bloody... It's hard, though, because you don't know what's true and what's not. Like, yeah, it's very, very, very interesting. Like, what I don't even know what he's suing. Like, what's he suing them for?
I think they paid him $200. It was so they paid him $200,000. They were going to pay him $200,000 to go see. What I think it was a shrink, like but I could be wrong. They worded it differently then, but I mean, like, obviously you can't do that with your contract and everything, but what's so bad about, what are they calling, he's taken to offense that they're calling him crazy.
Well, but, that's the thing, but depends when they agreed to get him to go there, and like there'd be a bit going on in the background of that, to be honest, but I haven't really read up much on the suing thing, but I'm more interested in the Ravens. Because obviously Lamar Jackson's trained with him, like he's done off-season training with him. But I was watching a video by the great man Shannon Sharp, and I don't usually pay that much attention to him because it's just it's pretty much like Stephen A. Smith. It's just this whole makes it this big circus. Like but this one thing that he said, he's like, he doesn't fit the culture of the Ravens at all.
Doesn't fit the culture of anyone, really.
Well, that's the thing. Like, literally doesn't fit the culture of just about anyone. But in terms of like what the Ravens are about, what they've been about since
Ray Lewis,
since like the Ray Lewis days, Joe Flacco and all those guns, Terrell Suggs when they were there.
Yeah.
He's the dead opposite to what they've been known for so long. Like, I feel like if Jim Harbaugh, is it Jim or John? Jim.
It's one of the Harbaughs. Let's just go with that one.
Yeah, let's go with the man Harbaugh. I honestly think if he signs, it's one of the dumbest things they would ever do, because he can derail a franchise. Like, he just takes all the attention from the franchise and the game to himself. Sometimes not intentionally. Like, you don't know what happened with happened with when he ran off the field and all this sort of stuff, but he's been throwing Gatorade drums when he was with the Steelers, and like, it's just stupid stuff. And obviously, like, it's hard as a coach to be able to navigate that. And like the questions that pop up straight after the game, like it just takes everything away from the players in the team. And I don't think it's what the Ravens are about at all.
Do you reckon Lamar would be unhappy with management though if they had the chance to get him and they didn't?
Look, he probably would be, but I think if he actually sat back and thought about it, then he would understand. Honestly, I'd like to hope so anyway, to be honest.
We'll move off AB because I think we've all had enough of him, to be honest, up to this point. Aaron Rodgers' career, obviously they got knocked out. And I think it broke today that his offensive coordinator has just become the coach of the Broncos. Mm-hmm. Now, whether that he was linked to, I think he was favourite to go to the Broncos last year at the end of last year. Now, he went on Pat McAfee's show and he said that he's going to make an announcement before free agency so he can be respectful to the other players. And he's going to do it on that show, which is going to be kind of cool. But where do you see him going? Do you see him staying there, or does he retire? Does he leave? And if he does,
he won't retire.
Does Devontae Adams go with him?
I don't think he retired. I reckon it could be like a Tom Brady Gronk sort of situation. I really can. Like, I think they're that close and they've had that much success together. They'd be silly to not try and leave. It'd be very, very interesting to see if say a Tennessee Titans, we were just talking about it before. Ryan Tannehill, AJ Brown. Straight swap. Or they'd probably have to throw in maybe a Julio Jones, to make it realistic. Because you can't, obviously Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are a step above Tannehill and AJ Brown.
Devontae Adams is in free agency this year, though, I think. So
that's the thing. I'm pretty sure he's come out and said he's not doing anything as well. So,
I mean, teams apparently Pittsburgh's again one of her favorites because Big Ben retired.
Shattered.
Yeah,
he was my fave.
It was eventually going to have to happen, but
especially with the way he plays, it's just cop this just every single week,
and he's so stiff. He looks so stiff in his movements.
He looks like me out in the footy field. He honestly does. He just looks stiff as a board, and he gave absolutely everything. Won him 2 Super Bowls. He done absolutely everything for him.
In an era that was meant to be Brady versus Manning, he came through.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Correct.
And I really do like him, actually. So
so do I.
So back to the Rodgers take. Where do you think you see him going? Because I know there's Seahawks, Broncos.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one because the Seahawks there's obviously been rumors going around with Russell Wilson and Jesus Christ, Carroll.
Steve Carroll. Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. Steve Carroll. Steve Carroll. As soon as I knew the last name, and then Steve Carroll was the only thing that was popping in my head that whole time, man. Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll have been supposedly on walking on eggshells a little bit, and their relationship's been a bit up in the air and all this sort of stuff. So I think Aaron Rodgers going there with Pete Carroll would be unreal. I honestly do. But I still think, I'm pretty sure the Packers head coach, Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur.
Well, he's upcoming gun coach, I reckon. Going to be a really, really, really good coach. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what but the hard thing with the Packers, they probably should have won a Super Bowl in the last 4 years. They've been hindered with injuries, and Rodgers hasn't been 100%. They've just been cursed with, ask Brad, he'd tell you all about, they've had injuries to the offensive line, their defensive line. Rodgers has been injured. They just haven't taken a trick. And even back in the days when Eddie Lacy was there, he was injured as well when he was back in his prime. They just unfortunately haven't had a team like the Bucs did last year when they were just all healthy, running on all cylinders, and could knock off a Kansas City Chiefs.
To be honest, I've only disliked Green Bay really since knowing Brad, because I used to really like was it Clay Matthews that played for them? The
blonde-haired assassin.
Yeah, I loved watching him. He was
Mm-hmm.
unreal to watch. But now now that no Brad, can't stand him anymore. I wonder what he thinks of this.
He literally would have been on suicide watch after that game.
He would have been like,
how the 49ers won that game has still got me absolutely.
He would have been saying to himself, trade Jordan Love for a good what do you call it?
Good profit of some sort.
Special teams, good special teams players.
Yeah, literally.
From another career to other careers, Brady and Gronk. Now, Brady's kind of he's not really hinted at retiring. He's just stating facts.
No, but he hasn't. Yeah. And it's probably the closest he's been to hinting at retirement, though, to be honest.
And Gronk's hinted at it as well, saying that if you asked him,
he would say no. He's just saying
he's not going to play.
He's going to depend on what Brady's doing.
He's not playing if Brady's not playing. Let's all be honest. But
he's the biggest Sharpie sheep I've ever heard in my life.
Very true. What do you think happens though here? What do you think they both stay? Do you think one retires?
I think they do. Brady's still got a couple of years left in him at least. I reckon. Like he's still good enough. Like
it's just all down.
Like I said earlier, it's just 100%. And also like if he gets past that, then they've just got to keep everybody healthy come the crunch time of the year. Obviously Godwin, that sucks. Like he was an absolute jet. They still have Mike Evans. Like I said, there's Gronk, Leonard Fournette. Like they still have some good players. And on the defensive end, like they've got some good players as well. So I think they've still had enough there. It's just like you said, the Rams are just stacked. Like they can seriously win it all out. Like they really can. I think they're the biggest
threat.
The biggest threat to the Chiefs right now.
There's
no way the 49ers can't beat them. There's no way. Not a chance.
Wait, we're getting to that.
No, not a chance.
All right, we're getting to it. So the last topic I want to discuss. Now I didn't watch this year when he had a blowout year or whatever. Juju Schuster, or however you say his name.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, apparently he's interested in signing with the Chiefs in free agency.
How are they going to be able to afford that?
I don't know, but he didn't have a great year this year, did he? He was a bit.
Nah, he's still worried about TikTok.
Well, that's exactly what people were saying. They're like, he only wants to go there to do TikTok dances with Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah.
Which is
Jackson
everyone hates that
Mahomes.
guy. Yeah. Pat's brother that does all the disgusting dances and
really?
You don't know this.
No. Mate, I don't go on TikTok that much.
No, you don't.
You send me videos. Everybody else send me videos. I hardly ever watch that shit.
I don't see it on TikTok. I see it on Twitter because Barstools and all that are like, please, they're praying that any team beats them because they just hate Jackson Mahomes. And everyone hates because I think it was in Washington. Was it Sean Taylor that got his number? I think it was Sean Taylor. He got his number put on the side of the field and everything. And Jackson Mahomes is there when they're versing him, when his brother's obviously playing, and he's doing a TikTok dance on the number. Like, and it's like security off and everything. But no, apparently he's allowed to go in there and do a TikTok. Everyone just hates him. And
for that reason, I don't blame him, to be honest.
Yeah. But what do you think of Schuster possibly going to the Chiefs?
Look, if it happens, Jesus, no one's going to get anywhere near him.
But that's the thing. Like, everyone thought that their team was stacked enough as it, which it is.
Yeah.
But like, how can you add someone like that? It's just.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because obviously, I don't know where the contracts are. I haven't gone into that much depth to be able to know what sort of a contract like Trav Kelce and Mahomes and Tyreek Hill are on.
Mahomes has got that 10-year one that goes for $500 million. So I think it's.
Oh yeah, true.
It's a longevity one. It's huge, and I don't know about Kelce and Hill, but surely there's not enough cap space.
You wouldn't think so,
unless he takes.
I'm trying to think of who their rookie but he was a rookie last year. Their running back.
Yes.
Oh shit, I can't think of his name.
Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah, it was Aaliyah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even him, like he's going to be coming up to the way he like his year last year was obviously quite good. He showed a lot of promise with what he can do. Like he'll be coming up to a pretty decent contract. I don't know how long their contracts go for. I don't know if they're like a standard two-year rookie contract or what the go is there. But yeah, the way he's been going, like I don't see why he can't get a nice little contract there as well. So look, if they can do it and he can get there, I think his stock will have gone down a little bit after this season, to be quite honest. But we've seen what he can do, and he's a great player. So if they can get them, that's just another threat. Like it's like if you double Kelsey, Tyreek Hill's 1-on-1, Schuster's 1-on-1, like you double Tyreek Hill, then Kelsey, and like good luck.
Just chasing chips at this stage.
Yeah, and then you got Pat Mahomes that can run out of the backfield and do whatever the hell he wants to.
On the fly question, just not go into too much depth about it. Now I want to remember the name because it's the one I prefer. I'm trying to think of the 49ers tight end versus Travis Kelce. Kittle. Yeah. Who do you take?
Kittle. Yeah.
Who do you take? Him or Kelce?
Kelce purely because of Pat Mahomes.
Okay. Neutral quarterback.
Honestly,
who do you take?
Still Travis Kelce.
Fair enough. Did you see
Travis Kelce?
Did you hear him mic'd up on the weekend at the very end of the game?
Who's that? George
Kelce. He called that. He told Mahomes on that last play where he got the field goal range, told him that he's going to be open down the seam, and then Mahomes said right before the snap that it's going to be there, and sure enough, it's
because I seen the interview after the game, and he said that it was just like backyard football, and he said, look, whatever play they call, I'm going to run this route. Yeah. And they lined up, and then Mahomes like, do that. Yeah. And they do it, and they end up getting in. Like, that's just unreal.
That's being the quarterback of the team without being the quarterback.
But it just shows how on par they are with where they're at and how good a relationship they do have. But that's the biggest part about a quarterback and their receivers is how good a relationship they have. Like,
you're not going to get the ball all the time, but
you pretty much got to know every single movement that they're going to do, and know, like, you pretty much got to be in their head. Like, honestly, for them to be that good.
We'll move on to the preview though. So we'll start off with the 49ers versus the Rams, and you just said before there is no chance whatsoever the 49ers can win.
Nah. Oh, no, I didn't say. I said there's no way the 49ers could beat the Chiefs.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant... Sorry,
no way that the 49ers can beat the Chiefs. Not a chance. If they beat the Rams this weekend, there is not a chance they'll beat the Chiefs. Not a chance.
Let's hope that happens. Let's hope that's...
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no.
If I eat my words again...
Let's not hope, because I don't want the Chiefs to make it. But that would be just a... That would be Garoppolo's revenge game if that does happen.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
But we'll stick to 49ers Rams right now.
Yeah. I can't see. I think the 49ers have got to score like 20 plus points to beat them, and I just can't see them doing that.
Perfect weather though. I mean, it's going to be. Do they have a dome in Los Angeles? Because obviously the Rams have got two. They've basically got two home games. They got this, and then the Super Bowl's at home. So
that's huge too.
Which is a big advantage.
That is huge. Yeah, that is massive. No, I still think the Rams will win. I'm
gonna disagree with you just because I want Jimmy Garoppolo in there.
Just because you're a Patriots boy.
Yeah, just because that, and I like Deebo Samuels. He's a gun.
Yeah, he's a gun.
But
he injure him? He
looked like he injured himself every friggin' 2 plays. He hobbled off.
No, but he looked real bad.
I'm hoping that he's playing, but I haven't heard anything about it.
He's a star, mate. He's a gun. Yeah,
but I just think obviously dealing the Rams, they did against the Packers in cold weather, but if they can do anything like what they did to Aaron Rodgers to the Rams, I mean,
100%. I just think that the Rams have got more help offensively to be able to deal with it. Like, obviously that right tackle was out, and I think the Rams offensive line's a little bit better than the Packers, so I think they've got more help to be able to.
the only concern I really have is like, obviously the 49ers are pretty run dominant, and you look at the D line for the Rams, it's just stacked.
Good luck.
So,
Good luck.
Anyway, I'm taking the 49ers, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong.
Do you want to bet on it?
No, I'd rather not. I feel like the 49ers are probably like $3, $4 underdogs right now, but
yeah, at least.
Maybe I'll put this. Maybe this can be our weekly multis. This can be our weekly multis. Oh,
yeah. I'll put something on. You can share it out on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can share it out on Twitter.
I've failed a few multis lately. The other one failed because of they're $3. Oh wait, no, they're $2.50.
$2.47.
Jeez,
I thought the Bengals would have more of a chance to beat the Chiefs than the 49ers would beat the Rams.
We'll get to that.
Jeez, and Sportsbet have got the Rams as like the old St. Louis logo. Like, what the get with the times, man? Disgusting. Come on. I didn't mind that logo back in the day, but that's
I honestly reckon that logo looked better. I just think this one's more modern. This one's just more modern.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. But $2.47, that is surprising.
It is. To be honest, I actually might put a multi on for them to do it because I'd take that.
Well, I'm back so you back in the Rams then?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, we'll move on to the other game that apparently starts earlier. I thought I've got them mixed around. So the Chiefs and Bangles play at 7. But lucky
I got the day off. I'm gonna be back home.
You can still watch it at home. I'm gonna be at work.
At 7 o'clock
in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be going to work at 8:30, so I'll get to watch like a half. And
that's better than nothing.
Oh yeah, but then if you watch a half, then you can't go home and watch the rest of the game. You're keeping the scores up to date at work, and it just I'd watch the first half and then just cut it. I wouldn't go. I can't do that though because I'm always on Twitter on my lunch breaks.
Yeah. Well, that is a you problem, not a me problem.
Chiefs versus Bengals. Now, I don't think we'll get into it. I don't think the Chiefs front D line is as good as the Titans, so I don't think Joe Burrow is going to get sacked as much. With Tyrann Mathieu questionable, I think, because he got a concussion last week, and he's probably their best defender. Joe Burrow could easily have his way with this Chiefs defense.
100%. Like, I actually think that this is. I'm like as confident I was to say the Chiefs. Then, like, obviously, it's because of what they can do. I honestly thought that they'd be at shorter odds than what the 49ers would be.
Yeah,
I really
bigger odds. You mean shorter would mean they're shorter favorites?
No, just like because they're 3 at shorter. Yeah.
I thought Bengals, they'd be.
Yeah. The Bengals. Yeah. Because like exactly like you said, like the Chiefs, obviously they gave up 36.
Yeah, 36. Yeah.
To the Bills, and that's purely because Josh Allen is just an absolute star. But like, I feel like the Bengals have actually got more weapons to be able to hurt teams, and their defense is underrated. They're actually quite good.
And that's what it's going to come down to, really.
Yeah.
Chiefs defense was looking terrible without Matthew. And
100%.
If he's not playing, then I just feel like it wouldn't surprise me.
The Chiefs defense has always been the suspect side of the ball for them.
And that's going to happen when you got such a stacked. You're paying the whole offensive line basically, or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much the whole offense. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you can get away with having average defense if your offense is gonna they can just turn it on. Like at the start of the year, everyone was nearly writing them off because they started like absolute trash.
Even Mahomes started playing bad.
Mahomes played terribly. And now, what do you know? They're the favorites for the Super Bowl. Like, I think I've seen something today. It was like a 90% chance to win the Super Bowl. Like, that's just crazy.
Anyone but them, to be honest. I'm happy with anyone but them. We'll do a Super Bowl preview, obviously. But will you be down for the Super Bowl?
We'll work.
Be local,
Probably not.
Might have to come to Melbourne.
Yeah, if you've got the day off, we should do a live thing. We'll have to work that out. We need to do a live thing soon.
Yeah.
The locker room fans need that.
Yeah. Because I think I might be having that day off because I'm coming back from holidays.
Stop that.
Very keen for it. Get the hot dogs out, the nachos, the American beer, the Coors.
Yeah, the Coors.
Budweiser.
Yeah, the chili cheese fries.
Did that last year. 2 years ago, I think, actually. Or last year it might have been. Who played last year? Buccaneers and Chiefs. Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah, that was unreal. Yeah, God, my memory.
And you're a Patriots fan.
Oh, Patriots weren't in there, so.
No, I know, but Tom Brady was in there, you twat.
Who? No, he's not Mac Jones, but.
Who? Wow.
But I honestly think this game's going to be high scoring. I don't doubt it. I think both teams score over nearly 25 points or at least 20.
Yeah. I agree.
What do you think? Because you said the Chiefs win. How much do you think they actually win by then? Do you think it comes down to the last quarter or last couple of possessions, or do you think they get home a bit comfortably?
No, I reckon it'll be within a score. I honestly do. I reckon the Bengals are good enough defensively to be able to, cope with what they've got, with what the Chiefs have got on offense. Obviously, they've got some stars, so they're gonna score. You can't do anything about that. It's just going to be whether they can score enough against average defense, I think. Because you've got to go out there and score like I said, at least 25 points a game to beat the Chiefs, to be honest, because they're going to score around that every single game.
Well, I'm going to trust my main man, McPherson, and I'm going to call he's going to score a late game winner. It's not going to be a walk-off.
The man.
But I feel like he's going to get a late field goal to win them the game. So I'm going to go with the... Oh, wait.
You heard it here first on the locker room pod.
Yep. Hey, well, I did call the Kenrich Williams trade.
Yeah, and we did call the
it hasn't
John
happened.
Holmes as well. It hasn't happened either, but we've had some things that we thought might happen that are sort of in the works.
All I'm saying is I remember having the conversation with Sharpie on here, and I'm like, OKC aren't trading Kenrich unless we get a first rounder. And Sharpie basically laughed at me saying that the best you're going to get is a second rounder. And what do you know? Sam Presti's not going to move on.
Sharpie.
Yep.
In your face,
what do you
Sharpie.
know about basketball, Sharpie?
Not a lot, obviously. Hence why he goes for the Knicks.
And why he goes for the Saints in NFL.
Drew Brees.
Taysom Hill. Jameis Winston.
Jameson Winston.
Thanks for joining us, Lockie.
Pleasure, my friend.
We'll figure out what we're going to do for the Super Bowl because we need to do something.
Yes.
Whether we do a preview and a live, maybe.
Yes, I like the idea of that.
We'll see what happens, but I'm very keen for that.
Definitely.
And then we can get back to the NBA, but the NBA is taking a break for the next couple of weeks, I think.
Even though there's All-Star weekend coming up.
Even though there's a trade deadline coming up as well, we're going to focus on NFL. We're going to focus on...
Exactly.
Although I've got the special guest coming on next week, so
true.
We might have a double drop. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
No worries at all.
I'll see you next week or whatever. And
yep.
Thanks for listening and goodbye.